Hi, I'm Gareth Kane, and in this presentation we're going to look at how to make corporate sustainability happen. First, we're going to look at the different levels of incorporating sustainability into your organization, and then we're going to look at the change management process to actually deliver that. So this is my model of the different levels of sustainability in an organization. And the traditional level is compliance. If it's not a legal requirement, then business isn't interested. But that's a very expensive attitude to take, because as the legislation gets tougher and tougher, it gets more and more expensive to do the compliance. Going beyond compliance, we find a lot of businesses playing lip service to the environment. So they've done a couple of projects, and every time the conversation comes around to the environment, they wheel these out again and again. But there's no buy-in, there's no forward momentum, and effectively it's a form of greenwash. The next stage is what I call bundle of projects. Typically, a group of enthusiasts have got together, created a committee, put a load of projects together. It's all very exciting, but there's no long-term strategy, there's no wider staff buy-in, and every time somebody wants to do a project, they have to go cap in hand for the resources to do so. The fourth stage is the environmental management system, typically a formal system like ISO 14001. Now this provides a structure we haven't had before, with responsibilities and reporting processes and targets that deliver projects, and there's a review process, but it's still all very short term, and all that activity is in a green silo. So if there's an environmental problem, the environmental manager is expected to deal with it, but a corporate issue like redesigning a product or redeveloping a process would never come onto the agenda. The final stage is what I call full integration, and that's where sustainability is truly embedded through the organization. There's clear commitment and leadership from the top, there's a strategy in place with long-term goals, all systems and operations are either aligned to the strategy or are being aligned to the strategy, and there's total buy-in, or as near as you can get it, throughout the organization. Now the difficult bit is getting from the management system level, where a lot of companies are, and very familiar ground, up to that full integration level. And there's one other aspect of business where this has been done very successfully, and that's total quality management. Because what total quality management did was take quality out of the quality manager's office and embed it right into the organization. So it became everybody's responsibility, and all systems from the design of products through to the process and the supply chain were all aligned to delivering quality. If we want to do the same with sustainability, I think the TQM model is a very strong model to use. But what TQM also gives us is a model for change management, because TQM embodies two types of change. One, the huge disruptive changes which align processes, products, supply chains, personnel, management structures towards quality, and then in between those huge disruptive leaps, lots and lots of small steps that keep ratcheting up the pressure. I propose doing exactly the same for sustainability in my sloping staircase model, as I call it, where we have a series of huge leaps which align products, processes, energy systems, management structures towards sustainability, and then in between lots of small steps delivering continual improvement. And you can see from the model how the huge leaps take us away from the diminishing returns that incremental improvements on their own lock you into. Further up in the model, I also mentioned a cul-de-sac, which is where you might have taken a huge leap thinking it's a step forward, but actually in the medium term stops you progressing any further. This might be investing in a huge new energy system, where it might be more efficient, stops you then investing in renewable energy in the future. So you have to be very careful with that, and there are various methods of planning to avoid cul-de-sacs, but we're not going to go into those today. Okay, if you want to know more about these topics, as always, there's my book, 3 Secrets of Green Business, which the third secret of green business is this idea of taking a small number of huge leaps and a very large number of small steps. online on www.terrainfirma.co.uk. You can find my blog, which has got regular updates on these topics, and you can sign up for the Low Carbon Agenda, which is my monthly newsletter, which also carries explanations of a lot of this work. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Gareth Kane. Hope you tune in next time.